but okay. My question is, how do you feel about making decisions? And if someone is to sort of struggle with making the decision, do you have any sort of advice or teachings that you could impart? Thank you.
Hear me now? Only directness community, not through the mouth. Wonderful. I think so. Yes. If all else fails, read the instructions. Indecision is because of insecurity. For many reasons, there could be indecision. The most general of the reasons is insecurity. I feel I may be making a mistake. Oh no, that's the thing. And the insecurity, and then along with the insecurity, there's also a perfectionism. I want to get it right now. That's why Mark Twain said, please make a new mistake every day. Make as many mistakes as you want, but don't make the same mistakes. Make new mistakes. So this indecision arising from insecurity. That is one of the causes. And that is, if you look at insecurity deeply, perhaps there is a perfectionism, fear of making mistakes. That's another cause. Yet one more cause to be indecisive, not having an idea, is trust. It's a trust issue. I do not trust my own judgment. This is why. Of course, all these causes are interrelated. I'm just highlighting some of them. I don't trust my own judgment. And so, and even if somebody, and then I go ask somebody else, what do you think I should do? And then if that person tells what they think you should do, then still the person doesn't listen. So it was not the question of really not knowing what to do. It was a question of trust. Another reason is fear of committing to one particular thing, solution. That's a very scary thing, especially in these days and times. I don't want to commit. I want to be a free-floating entity, a rolling stone, not the band, but the one that gathers no moss. That's what I want to be. And so therefore, I don't want to commit to anything. And that fear of commitment is just this feeling that I will be bound to do something that I don't want. And again, it goes back, it loops back into what if it's the wrong thing? What if it's a mistake? So you see how complex this whole indecision thing is. Extremely complex. And of course, there is the last reason that I can see is FOMO. There might be something better out there that I am missing out. I'm missing, if I do this, then I can't do that. And if I do this, then I can't do this. So there is this always being on the fence. And if you are on the fence, you are on the defense. This is what happens. But what we don't understand properly is that the difficulty in making decisions, when you have difficulty in making decisions, then if you say, I'm not going to decide, that is also a decision. That's also a decision. If you say, I'm not going to decide at all, I'm just going to let somehow the winds blow me here and there. That's also in a way a decision. It's a decision to be apathetic. It's a decision to not participate in one's own life. That is the decision. It's a default decision. Because from being confronted with multiple choices or two choices between which you cannot decide, one becomes paralyzed and doesn't decide at all. What fun is there in that? Apathetic. And in this apathy, it is dangerous, really, because opportunities go by and then one hasn't taken the opportunities. And then it spirals into pain and depression, emotional pain, because the apathy then starts to take you down on a downward spiral. Oh, I'm not going after my goals. I'm not going after my ambitions. I'm not going after my dreams. And then as a result, one is sad. So therefore, we have to, wherever there is indecision, extra prayers are needed. And what if it's the wrong thing? Doesn't matter. Do the wrong thing. What will happen? Pray and do the wrong thing because you don't have enough. Nobody does the wrong thing on purpose. You don't have enough information. Okay, wait. But then if I say wait, then people will wait for 3 lifetimes and then decide. That's not the idea. So wait till you get some clarity. But what if the clarity doesn't come at all because one is buying into the patterns? Then the clarity may not come. And therefore, what to do? Take a leap of faith. Pray. And you can do some things which we do in India. We have a kind of a Bhagavan Ishvara oracle. And you don't do this whether, for mundane issues. Should I have dinner or not? Should I have Italian or Mexican? That's not the idea. If you can't decide even that, then, even Bhagavan cannot help. Okay. So, but this is for difficult decisions. So if there is some difficult decision between two things you cannot decide, then we take identical small chits of paper and you just have binary answers. Should I do this or not? Yes, no. Or there are two choices. You put one choice on one, maybe a keyword of the first choice on one paper and the keyword of the first choice of the second choice on another paper. Do not cheat. Fold them identically. Fold them identically, mix them up, say a prayer, put it on front of the altar. Close your eyes, pick one, do as it says. Yeah. Let me know how it worked out. She likes that one. Yeah. You like that one. That's good. Because somewhere you have to go, something you have to trust. Yeah, and if you just keep going like this, one day like this, one day like that, it's just, it causes a lot of anxiety, sorrow. Half of the anxiety is because of indecision. Half of the sorrow is also because of indecision. So we have to take matters into our own hands. And if you're not confident of that, leave it to Bhagavan. Put 2 pieces of paper and do it. And then, of course, then actually it's not that you don't know what to do, because if the wrong thing comes, the wrong thing that you think should not comes, then you say, oh, okay, I'll take the best of 3. And then you do it 3 times. 2 times what comes, I'll do. Still the other one is coming. Okay, best of 5. So whatever comes, most times out of 5, I will do. So that means what? You already know what you want to do. Congratulations. Either way, it works. So put it on the altar of surrender, and doesn't matter what it is, trust that it will not go wrong. And even if it goes wrong, it's a lesson and you will know how to deal with it. Okay. There were many questions all over there. So many hands. Also,
Om Namah Shivaya, Swamiji. Thank you for being here today.
Over there. Okay. Yes. Namaste.
Yes. So I have a question. So I was recently reminded that as human beings, we every day we have some type of concern or anxiety. And I recently came through to a satisfying solution to a concern that I had and woke up smiling and feeling good.
Good
And
for
before
you.
I knew it, there was a concern from years ago that I thought was resolved. It popped into my head and I was just surprised. Why does that happen when you seem to have one concern that's been solved, something that you weren't even aware of comes in to take your mind elsewhere?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I'm glad it's resolved, though. Congratulations. That's wonderful. And long may this period of tranquility continue for you. That is my prayer. So, coming to your concern, why is it that one has to be anxious about something or the other all the time? This is what part of what you're asking. And the other part of what you're asking, what I hear, is that how come when I thought it was resolved, then something from a long time ago can suddenly surface and surprise you. It's like an old school friend visiting without notice. Here I am, tada. No, 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 no. What are you talking about? This is not an old school friend. This is an old school enemy. Doesn't matter. Treat that anxiety as an old school friend. Something you haven't seen in a long time. So where was it all this time? It was latent. It was deeply buried in the unconscious mind. And then it exhumed itself. It exhumed itself. Why? Because there was a trigger. We may not know what the trigger is. In fact, trying to find out the trigger itself is triggering. Okay. So I don't suggest that. So doesn't matter what the trigger is. If you are blessed to know the trigger, well and good. Even if you don't know the trigger, you are still blessed. So there is some trigger, know that. And the trigger is always in the present, which kind of hooks into the remnants in the past. This is what it does. The trigger hooks into something from the past. And then it reels that, it brings out that memory, it brings out that anxiety. And then even though we think it's a very big problem, the anxiety is a problem, oh my God, it's making me lose sleep and lose peace of mind. Actually, we have to see it as a gift. One more difficulty is on its way out. One more thing I don't have to worry about. One less thing to think about. This is how to go about it. And so looks like you have done the right thing. You just see, when anxiety is just another name for fear, is it not? Fear. That's all it is. Anxiety means fear. When fear comes, actually it is two things that one is afraid of. One is afraid of whatever one is afraid of, and then one is afraid of the fear itself. So you welcome the fear. Make 2 cups of chai, one for you, one for the fear, and say, okay, it is tea time. Literally, I've had people do this with it is very, very effective. And actually one man I recommended this to did it in a cafe. He went to some cafe, not Starbucks. He's from California. That's why I could suggest this to him. And he went to a cafe and then he sat down and he ordered 2 lattes or whatever it is. And then everybody thought, okay, some partner or some friend is coming. He just sipped his own. And that was keeping on waiting and everything like that. And after he finished this, he finished that one also. But he had a wonderful session. He wrote it down, and some things he dictated into his little device, whatever he was feeling softly. And everybody thought he was in an important meeting. And it was an important meeting. And it was a very important meeting. It really works because you are personifying this fear. And so the anxiety doesn't grip the heart and grip the throat, because most of the time one is afraid of fear. Welcome the fear. Just say, I'm okay. What can you do to me? Come, let's be friends. Tell me, what is it that you are trying to tell me? What is it that you are afraid of? Tell me. And so this is the way to work with the anxiety. This is what it takes, because the anxiety has to do with some kind of a paralysis because of the fear. So when that fear of fear is removed, then that issue at hand, becomes like a pet dog. Then you find out what it needs. Okay, you need food, you need to go for a walk. What do you need? Then it just entails, what it entails is just basically telling people that this is, I just have to deal with this. That's all. This is all that it entails. And then it becomes much simpler. This is the way to work with the anxiety. Yeah, bring it in front here. Yeah. There was one there. Can all the people who have questions please raise their hands? Who else? Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That lady has been waiting for a long time.
I'll ask it anyway. Last night, I can't remember what the actual thing was that you were just, it made me think of duality and non-duality.
Yeah.
And I wanted to know if you could summarize that a little bit for us, because I think it is an advanced topic, but
yes, it is.
but at the same time, I think just for the newly initiated, just so that people understand what they're getting at.
Yes. The wonderful Swamis here choose the topics, because I give them some choices, 5, 6 choices. So then out of that, they choose the topic. One time they said, can you speak on all 6? And I said, not at one time, not simultaneously. So they chose it this time, this Gadapati Upanishad. And it is not, it is neither hard nor easy, but it takes a different mindset than what we have. That's all it is. So in a way, one needs to relax enough, because one is so worried, oh, I'm not getting it, I'm not getting it. You are getting it. It's just a question of being with it. So what it is trying to say, what Vedanta in general is trying to say, we just can have, what should I say, Vedanta baby talk. So this is what it's saying. First, you are the most significant thing in this entire universe. Not because we want everybody to have a swollen head, no, but simply because of the relationship you have to all other things in the universe. You are the observer. You are the lighter upper of all objects. And you yourself don't need to be lit up. You are self-lit. Is this much clear? Yeah. So that's why you're the most significant thing in the universe. And then what is this you? When you unpack the word you, we do a kind of a systematic unpacking where everything that is degrading, everything that is changing, everything that is finite is cognitively removed out of the equation. Body changing or no? Yes. Gone. Bye-bye body. Mind changing or no? Never mind. That's all you can say about the mind. Bye-bye mind. Sense organs changing or no? What did you say? Yeah. So that is also bye-bye sense organs. Then what else is there? Memory, changing or no? What memory? And then what else? Memory, desires, changing or no? Yes. Resolve, changing or no? Yes. So all this is gone. All this is gone. All this is not in the equation right now. So when all these are cognitively discounted, what remains is just I am. That's all that remains. This is point 2. Then this I am, how does it become evident? It becomes evident in the form of I know I am. This is point 2. I am really means I know I am. And then how long does this I am last? Now I am, correct? Yes? No? Yeah. How about now? I am. Now I am. Now I am. Now I am. Now I am. I am now. I now am. Now I am. I now am. So what is the length of this now? What is the length of this now? Yeah, the now, it doesn't have a measurement because the now is dependent upon the cognizer of the now. The cognizer of the now has no expiry date. And so the I has no expiry date because the cognizer of the now is cognizing not a unit of time anymore, is cognizing oneself as I am now. Now has no expiry date. The now outlives the body, outlives the mind, outlives the senses, outlives everything. It is just all the time. Now means forever. I am, I know I am, and I know I do not come to an end. This is Advaita Makaranda. Ahamasmi sada bhami kadachinnahamapriyah brahmaivahamatassiddham satchidananda lakshanam. Fantastic text. Really wonderful text. Aham asmi. I am. How do you know this? Sada bhami, because that shine of that knowledge, I am is there forever. Asmi, I am, bhami, I shine. I shine doesn't mean that I have, I'm like an isotope. No, I'm not radioactive. Shine means I know I am. And what kind of a knowing is it? It is a knowing that never becomes I don't know. All other objects, you can say, I know Chinese food. And you can say, I do not know the Greek language. You can say that. But how do you know that you know? I know. How do you know that you don't know? I know that I do not know Greek. I met somebody from Greece and I was very curious about this. I said, in all other parts of the world, we say, this is Greek to me. What do you say? These are the things I like to think about. And that lady said, oh, that's a very good question. We say it is Chinese to me. Very interested. So I know, and I know that I don't know. And that I know is an ontological I know, and I know which can never ever convert into I don't know. This is what means sada bhami, means I'm always the same, and I always am that which never turns into I don't know. I am that consciousness which knows itself and which knows everything else. Then the next thing that is said is kadachit na aham apriyah. Never am I unlovable. Oh, come on. This is a very big, this is a tall order. You don't know me. You don't know my life. I am filled with self-loath. Somebody can say that. But here, even the person filled with what they call self-hatred or whatever it is they think they are filled with. It is very interesting, because the self-hatred is for what? Like when you unpack that self-loath, I am not tall enough, I am not the right weight, I am not the right complexion, the color of my hair, if I have hair, okay, is all wrong. All these things, one will give a whole list of all these things which I do not like, which the person doesn't like about oneself. That means what? In the absence of those attributes, one is in love with oneself. One is definitely in love with oneself, because one cannot pass a reflecting surface without taking a look, even if it is a store window. And even if you don't like how you look, you will look and just say, oh, okay, here I am. Even if somebody is 95 years old and they pass a reflecting surface, and their face may look like a road map, but still they will look. They will look. That is the love for the self. Here, the self is being equated to the body. That's all, because one doesn't know. The self is eminently lovable. So therefore, everything in the universe is lovable, because for the sake of the pleased self. And what does that mean? That means that certain things are lovable in their presence, like the beach is lovable when it is present. Cockroaches are lovable when they are absent. So everything is lovable, whether it depends upon whether it is present or not. There is love for that. Then what? So this is the next point. And so then the author in the Advaita Makaranda, this text I quoted from, says, Brahma eva ataha siddham. This is proven now. Siddham means it is established that I am this Brahman alone, which is just that awareness, which is Ananda, which is the source of all happiness, which is Sat, which is the source of all existence. It is understood. Satchidananda Lakshanam, that which is defined as Satchidananda, that is what I am. This is something very nice to keep on repeating. I am Satchidananda. I am Satchidananda. Even when you're crying, say that, I am Satchidananda. Wiping the tears, say, I am Satchidananda, because it is Satchidananda upholding the tears. Really. Tears come and go. They are just like rainfall. And if you're crying for more than 2 days, it's monsoon. That's all. Yeah. You've gone to India. It's an inner monsoon. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a little rain shower. It's the Satchidananda upon which this rain shower is projected. That's all it is. Satchidananda is like a space, like space. When it rains, does the space get wet? Say no, so we can move on. Show at least one sign of life. Does the space get wet? No. Space cannot get wet. Space is unaffected by the rain. You are like that space, like all pervasive consciousness that is unaffected by any rain. And this is what the concluding, one of the concluding verses of the 8th chapter of the Panchadashi says. Very nice. Maya megho jaganniram varshatu esha yada kada chidakashasya kahanihi kolabha iti sthitihi. This Maya is a rain cloud, the personal rain cloud of depression, you can say, in the form of self-ignorance or other tricks that she may be up to. And what is the Jagat? The Jagat is the water. Maya megha, Jagat neeram. Jagat is the water. So it is raining. Maya is raining the Jagat, including my personal Jagat of likes and dislikes. And all inimical things are coming in front of me. OMG, what is this Maya up to right now? And here the person of knowledge says, Varshatu Esha, let her rain. Yada kada, whenever she wants, yatra tatra, wherever she wants, let her rain. Chidakashasya ka hanihi ko labhaha. Is the space, akasha means space. The space, just like the space is not affected by the rain, does not need a towel to dry itself off after, after the rain. Similarly, Chidakasha, this consciousness is not affected by anything that makes one cry. Any depression, any sorrow, any pain, nothing happens. Even if you are crying, it is just a passing emotion. Every emotion must be looked upon like the weather. These too shall pass. These too shall pass. In fact, the weather sometimes is not predictable. That's why it's called weather, because you don't know whether it's going to rain or not. Yeah. But the emotions are predictable. That's why there is the branch of knowledge called psychology. It is the study of emotions. If it were not predictable, how could we study emotions? It's actually quite predictable. Given this kind of a background, that the person, the adult child of alcoholics, there is a whole kind of a personality given. The adult child of alcoholic parent or parents will have these issues. It doesn't become a personal issue. It becomes a syndrome of everybody who has had a similar background. Given a background of neglect, that the person will have certain issues when they grow up. That is also given. It's Ishvara. It's amazing. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, it is no longer my sorrow, my pain. It is just the law of psychology. It's a very nice way to depersonalize it. You Ishvarize the emotions. And so this is how you understand yourself. And that essence of yourself, that Satchidananda is equated to Ishvara, the cause of the universe. And when we say cause, that is the final point. The cause of the universe, when we say, it is a daunting thought. Ishvara, OMG, so big, so powerful. And if you see Goddess Durga, 20 hands, each one carrying one weapon. And it's beautiful to go around the ashram. You see so many woodcut murals of various devatas, authentically painted, very, very nice. So if you look at that, you say, how come I can be her? How come I can be him? You can wonder that way. But the equation is not made on the obvious level. The differences are obvious. So it's like another celebrated, highly regarded text called the Viveka Chudamani talks about it this way. It says that it imagines a scenario. There was a king who had a rogue sentry. You know the meaning of sentry? The doorkeeper, who does not allow riffraff to come into the palace. So this sentry was pretending to be a good doorkeeper, but actually he had a plot. One day, seeing that nobody was around the king, he went and just stuck his bayonet. Bayonet is just a fancy ancient way of saying sword, okay? Yeah. So he just stuck his sword on the king's back and said, take off all your regalia. Give me your crown, give me your cape, give me your scepter, give me all this power symbols. Give it to me. Give me your clothes. And the king said, what are you doing? You're supposed to be in my employ. Shut up. If you don't want to lose your head, shut up and take off all your clothes. But I won't have any clothes to wear. Don't worry. You wear my clothes. So it was a forcible exchange of uniforms. Now the king, the real king is who? Sentry. And the sentry is who? Masquerading as the king. Then the new king, the king, ascends on the throne. The century-turned king ascends on the throne, claps his hands, and says, and a lot of people come. What do you want, Maharaj? What is your command? Your wish is my command. Tell me. Arrest that sentry. He was trying to overthrow the government. And that the king, poor king, in the king, the poor thing, in this particular sentry uniform says, fools, look at me, I am your king. And then the sentry-turned king says, not only is he a rogue, he is mad. He's having hallucinations of being the king. Take him away. Because nobody sees the person. They see the uniform. They see the get-up. That is how it is. So Ishvara with the get-up of Ishvara is a daunting phenomenon. Yes. So you make Ishvara take off the crown of the king of the universe, the cape, all these things. Sustainer, resolver, creator, all these are epithets with relation to the Jagat, the universe that is just there. And when all these are gone, what is there? Just Satchidananda. That is where the equation is made. It may take a little time to assimilate, but we have made a great beginning. Yes? Yes. Okay. Say yes, even if you want to say no. Okay.
Om Swaminiji, we have a
Yes.
question online.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
gonna patch
Hello.
it through. Hold on a second. Okay, go ahead.
Swamiji.
Om.
My name is Alpana, and I don't know if you remember, but the last time you were at the ashram, I spoke to you at the ashram, and I had mentioned to you that I had to take a medical retirement, and
Yes.
I was asking you, I didn't know what the future was holding for me.
Yes.
And yesterday during your conference at lunch, you had mentioned we have all become Zoom sadhaks, like
Yeah, we are the members of a Zoom Kulam.
Yes.
Yes.
And so I feel like, I've been partial to the Shivananda ashram for many years. And after I spoke to you last time, I don't know that I even knew this until I spoke to her, but you know my mom. You've been to Oberlin and you stayed with my mom, Hasu Patel.
Oh my
And-
goodness, you are Hasu Patel's daughter.
Yes.
OMG. OMG. Please give your mother my namaskars.
I will.
She writes to me regularly on every Guru Purnima. She writes to me for wishing me for Deepavali, everything. She's just amazing.
She is. And so I told her that I was really blessed to be able to hear you, and now twice as well. But my question is this: I know, I've become, I've become much more spiritual since my time off now, and I feel like that's a good path for me. But a couple things relating to that. One, my husband's family, nobody, I don't even know if they know what the word Vedanta is. I feel like I'm the sole person here in my world trying to make my mind purified and my life, but every time around me, it's just not that environment to grow.
Yes.
And second, I've asked Swami Ramananda Ji this question before too. I have a mantra, but I don't know if I'll ever be able to come to the ashram and take a TTC course and get like a devata, like an Ishta mantra or anything like that. So my mind, the kleshas start to go, oh, how do you know you've chosen the right deity? Maybe you've chosen the wrong deity. Maybe you should try this mantra, or maybe you should do that. Like there's a lot of, my mind wants me to change so much. And then I haven't changed. I've stuck to the same mantra and I keep doing the same thing every day. But again, so confusion with the world around me. And then in terms of my own personal choices, how do I know that it's my consciousness or my Atman, or is it just my mind, my impure mind that makes these decisions for me?
You don't have an impure mind, first of all. And it is very, very clear. You have had wonderful samskaras, your parents being who they are. Just wonderful. Now, the mind can have some kind of an indecision, definitely. Because as you said correctly, there is that satsang. I mean, satsang means being around people who are like-minded. Zoom helps definitely because you see little postage stamps of people's faces, postage stamp size. Oh, this one is also there, that one is also there. You can see that. That also helps. But then studying in a group is something which is very, very special. That's why even though there is Zoom, people still like to come sit in the presence of the teacher. And then so that is missing for you, and that's why the mind is going here, there, everywhere. So you just be a mother to that mind, and you just, just like when a baby is tired, it is cranky. So what do you have to do to the baby? You just have to lull it and just allow it. You just pat it on the back and put it to sleep. So this mind also, you just allow the doubts to go to sleep. Put the pacifier in the form of the mantra in the mouth of the baby. That is cranky. The mind that is unstable. That's all it is. So you sit for japa, and then have a little routine that is self-affirming routine. And of course, there is nobody else around you who does Vedanta. That is very difficult, but we are all here. We are all here. We are all with you. I am with you. And if I can be of any service in any way, I'm with you. And you can just let me know. We have so many classes here. All the satsangs are broadcast. Everything is broadcast. You can take this. And you can take all the classes that are there. There are classes on YouTube. There is so much there. All you have to do is be gentle with yourself and put yourself on a diet of Vedanta. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So, have 1 or 2 classes a day. You can follow a text. You can do that. And you can talk to me more about it. Please give her my email and you can be in touch. I can, whatever I can do to help, I'm here for you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Yes, and you please give your email and phone number. I will contact you.
I will. Thank you so much, Swamiji.
Om.
Namaste, Swamiji. This morning during the discourse, you said, you spoke about Duryodhana and you said that he did not follow Dharma.
Yeah.
So can you elaborate on that?
I don't need to elaborate on that. Duryodhana was the embodiment of adharma.
No, we know who is,
Yeah.
but what does it mean by not following Dharma?
That I can elaborate.
Yeah.
So Duryodhana was what is called Atatayin. Atatayi means terrorist. And we just call anybody a terrorist. We don't, in English, we say, oh, this one is a terrorist. And we could even be talking about the pet cat. Okay, this one is a terrorist, we can say. We use the word loosely. But in Sanskritam, there is a 6-fold definition of what constitutes an atatayin. So there is, let me see if I can remember all of them. One is an arsonist. Arsonist means simply, just for fun, setting fires on other people's property. And did Duryodhana do that?
Yes.
Check.
Yes.
Because he lured look at this man. He lured the Pandavas onto this house made of wax, basically. And he said, picnic in the forest. I've recently built a house. Let's inaugurate. And so he lured them in. He said, oh, I'm just going to pick up something to eat. I'll be back in a jiffy. And then he went out and set fire. And of course, they knew that. They knew that this was there. But then they escaped through a tunnel which had been dug beforehand. Arsonist, yes. And then the one who kills for sport, sadistically, that also he had done. And then the one who kills people through drowning. Yes. The one who usurps like an asura, like a rakshasa, like a demon, other people's property. Yes. So like this, I don't remember two, three others, but like this, there's there. Yeah. So the one who is, plays with fire and destroys other people and their property, and the one who does water damage, and the one who kills sadistically for sport. It's not about hunting. Many in the olden days, kings used to go for hunting. It's not hunting. It's like he was caught when he was 8 years old, slowly twisting the head of a bird and then bringing it back until it squawked, and then twisting it again. And in fact, Dronacharya saw him and scolded him. What are you doing? Why can't you just, shoot the arrow or something that's different? But here he was making the pain last. This is the thing. And then robbing, defrauding somebody, telling lies. All this is adharma. So all 6 was check. That is why we say he did not follow dharma, and such a terrorist does not have the right to write a treatise named World Peace, Musings on World Peace. Who will read that book?
Thank you.
Yeah, you haven't asked a single question yet.
Well, actually, my question was the same that it was just said online. Because the mind is difficult to control. It
Yeah,
will
you
be-
don't control.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't control, you manage.
You manage.
Yeah.
So it will be better on prayer to just like have just one point of focus instead of having several. Like for me, when I feel always attracted to. I mean, I feel I find true in all religions. Like when I study Buddhism, so Vedanta really struck my heart. But because I'm Mexican, sometimes I feel that it's more difficult to understand and Vedanta because it's another culture. And sometimes I feel, should I go back to my origins? It will be easier for my mind to concentrate.
That's a very good question. Were you done? You want to say some more?
No,
Okay.
it was essentially that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very wonderful question, and I'm glad that you asked that. You see, Vedanta is not a competition with Buddhism or with Catholicism. It is not. Vedanta is about you. It's not a religion. It's not a religion. It is not even a way of life. It is a body of knowledge that everybody, whether they are Buddhists, whether they are Jewish, whether they are Catholic, or any other tradition they may be following, everybody needs this because it's not in competition with anything. Everybody needs it to remove the doubt and sorrow, the same thing that it is plaguing you, that you have recognized. That's why it speaks to your heart. It is not going to make you less of a Christian. No. It's not about converting into anything. Vedanta is not a religion. It is not an organized religion. It's not a religion. It is a body of knowledge. And without disturbing your religious beliefs, I do think that it is possible for you to commit to this body of knowledge and benefit as a result. I can speak to you more about that, how to do that.
Swami, we will take one question from online.
Sure.
Too. Sorry, hold on a sec.
Pranam Swamini ji.
Om,
Om Swamini ji. This is
how are you,
Kalpana.
Kalpana?
I am good. I am good. My humble pranams to you. I'm missing being there, but I'm still enjoying everything, all these classes and from home, and it's a blessing. My question is, I want to know what is the difference between a righteous person and a self-righteous person?
Sometimes there is not a difference.
But sometimes, but the thing is, I don't know, like I do certain things and I am being judged by my own kids. Mom, you're just so self-righteous. So I don't know.
Yeah.
So like, like I don't want to, I just want to know.
Yeah,
What is
righteous person is the one who is following dharma, we can say. Although
Mhm.
we won't call the person righteous, okay?
Mhm.
We would say the person who is following a righteous path, we can say. Self-righteous means who wishes and who makes sure that the other people also follow the path.
Mm.
That is self-righteous. Self-righteous, self-congratulatory. And why don't you do this? This is the best thing for you to do. Whether
Okay.
the person wants to do it or not. I mean, like, for example, it's impossible to make Duryodhana follow dharma, correct?
Mm.
We were talking just now of Duryodhana. It's not possible. So if one is self-righteous, then one will be very unhappy because Duryodhana is not listening to me. That is, that is what it is.
Okay.
So the self-righteous person is very unhappy because they expect the world to change according to their whims. And when it doesn't change, they are angry, resentful, disappointed, or just plain unhappy. So therefore, it's good to look at the world with a sense of humor and allow people to be what they are. I mean, if you can do something, if somebody comes to you for advice, it's a different thing. Then it's a different thing because they are asking you.
Right.
But if they don't come to you for advice and we go around distributing advice, then that becomes a area of consternation. It becomes an area of disharmony. So of course, if you see, if you're going, sometimes, there are exceptions. If you're going on the road and a man is beating a child, you intervene. I mean, making sure that it is safe to do so, or you call 911 or whatever it is. You intervene in whatever way it is safe. So that those are exceptional situations. But we are talking on a day-to-day basis. It's
Right.
good to say there is in the world of Ishvara, there is place for everybody. And so let them be in their own place and be however they are. And in one aid to do that is so and so also has parents. So it's not my job to tell them what to do. That's what you have to tell yourself.
But then what if you are the parent?
Yeah, then that's what I said. This is an exceptional situation. If you are a parent, then you have the dharma of, again, shaping the values of the offspring,
Mhm.
to do everything to shape the values of the offspring. But then I have to say, at some point, the Indian parent needs to know when to stop parenting.
That is true.
Because Indian parents take parenting very seriously. They don't know how to stop and when to stop parenting. And the stock example that happened in my life was an 82-year-old man who came to me and said, my son is not listening to me. Make him listen to me. And I said, how old is your son? 50. Okay. So that's when I got the idea that one should stop parenting at 50. Not when you are 50. I'm much more generous than that. When your child turns 50, please stop parenting. Till then, go to town, no problem.
Thank you, Swaminiji. Thank you so much. Om.
Namaste, Swaminiji. My question is about the arjavam, like the alignment of the thought and action and speech.
Yes.
So if somebody is approaching with silly, or at least my mind is thinking it is something silly that they are worrying about.
Yeah.
So my thought is already against their worry, but I
Yeah.
have to validate them. I have to be nice to them. So I
didn't understand. What do you mean the thought is against their worry?
In the sense, I think it is silly. They shouldn't be worrying about it.
Oh, okay.
But if I say that, it may sound rude. So I'm going to validate and say, I understand you're going through this, but then I'm against the thought, right? I'm not aligning my speech and action.
Ah, okay. Well, that comes under the other Vedic maxim, Satyam Bruyat, Priyam Bruyat. So you are trying to speak sweetly, but at the same time remain in truth. You can say there is no need to worry about this, but then of course, it's just like telling a person who is sad, don't be sad. A fat lot of good that will do. And if you tell a person who is worrying, don't worry, that doesn't help. So you say, yes, I can see why you are worried, but trust me, it is in the large scheme of things, it doesn't matter. You can say that. You can say the same thing very softly, very sweetly, and with a smile on the face. And this is something which is very interesting. They say that people who have some kind of what is that called? Dementia, cognitive decline. Alzheimer's disease is one example, So people who are incapable, I mean, they understand what you're saying, but they cannot have too much information. It is too much, everything coming at once. It is just too much. Information overload. They are not able to process the facial expression and the words, etc. So I read somewhere that if you frown at them and say, how many times have I told you not to do this? And don't you see you're repeating yourself? If you frown and say, they will take something and throw it at you. They could, if they are agitated. They are agitated because they feel in danger. They feel somebody is coming at me with a terrible expression on their face. And so you have to school your face to say, that is not a nice thing to do. Please put that down. Otherwise, you will not get your treat. This is how you have to say. Then they will really listen and put it down. This is how the caregivers for dementia patients are trained to say everything with a smile. And that really helps all of us. You try it with your children, with the significant other, with everybody. Just say, I think that's a terrible idea. With your friends. Because the person is sensitive. They're looking for cues. They're looking for disapproval because they already don't approve of themselves. So you look at them smilingly and approvingly and say, this is a disastrous decision. I think if you do this, I don't know what the outcome will be. At your own peril. Are you sure you really want to do this? Like this, you ask. That's why Lord Krishna is always smiling. He got this. We learned this from Lord Krishna. He will be telling Arjuna, you are a fool. Kutastva kashmalamidam. Vishame samupasthitam. Anarya jushtam asvargyam. Akirtikaram Arjuna. He gives him all kinds of Sanskrit 4-letter words in the beginning of the 2nd chapter. But Arjuna doesn't get upset and go away. He's already upset. He could have got even more upset and goes away because Krishna is Ananda Swarupa. That's why he stands like this, 3 bends. One bend like this, the other bend there, and the legs back here. Because Ananda, that joy is not measurable. It is more in the form of a wave. And so that's what one has to be. Not just with dementia patients, with everyone. So just practice smiling all the time. Even if you have to say the most distasteful things, when it is said with a smile, you will be surprised. And I want updates, okay? Yeah. Keep me updated.
I have a question regarding social ethics.
Social ethics.
Social ethics, the yamas, regarding aparigraha, non-accumulation.
Yeah, aparigraha.
If you could talk about that.
Yeah. But what did you have in mind? Social
money.
Money. Okay. Money is money is Brahman. Money is Ishvara. Money is Lakshmi, goddess Lakshmi. And goddess Lakshmi belongs to Lord Vishnu. not to you. That is what we have to understand. If we make the mistake of thinking Lakshmi belongs to me, then she will go away. And in India, they take drastic measures. In the state of, I think, Maharashtra, in central India, there is Western India. In Maharashtra state, they take drastic measures to lock up Lakshmi, very bad. So they will, on Lakshmi Puja day, I think it's the day after Deepavali or something, it will come. And so they open the door, then they close the door, they close the windows, they close everything. And they say, you cannot leave. Literally, they say, you cannot leave. You have to be here. You have to be here until I send you off. And then in India, we have a kind of traditional send-off ceremony for a married lady, which is Lakshmi. She's married to Vishnu. So you anoint her with vermilion and turmeric, and you give her a gift, and then you give her a coconut and all these things, and then you say, okay, I'm sending you off. Here, the people are so clever. They withhold the coconut and the vermilion, thinking that she will stay. Until the tambula, that is called tambula, the send-off ritual. Until the tambula is given, you are not supposed to go. So I will not give. So that means you will stay here. Nice as a sentiment, but doesn't work that way. Wealth is given. You are not the generator of it. Even if one is a quote-unquote self-made man, there is no such thing called a self-made man. And the one who considers himself or herself a self-made person is the most miserable, really. The self-made man has a list of complaints. I had nothing. I had 2 pairs of clothes. One was hanging on the tree, one was on the body. One day I had dal and rice to eat. The next day, what did I have? Rice and dal to eat. And then I built this whole empire with my bare hands. Very difficult, because jealous of his own children, the self-made man is. And then the self-made man may say, I studied under the street light. If you unpack these statements, everything was given. 2 pairs of clothes given. Dal and rice given, rice and dal given. Street light to study under, given. Books, given. Shoes, given. Brain, given. The self-made man did not make his brain, okay? Brain given. Neither did his mother, nor did his father. It is all given, given, given. And if when we acknowledge that it is already given, and so there is we cannot have authorship or ownership of anything, the possession of anything. You can own many things. It's not that you have to give away everything. You can own many things, but what are you possessing? There is a difference between ownership and possession. Ownership is an objective fact. You can say, my name is on the deed of this house. You can say that. This is my house, nothing wrong. But possession is something else. Possession is a dysfunctional relationship between you and this piece of property. That is the difference. That is how you make that distinction.
Sorry, we do have one question in the queue from online. I'll push it through.
Hari Om, Swamiji.
Yes.
In the morning, you touched upon 2 things. One was the fear of unknown, and the other was the urge to try and control whatever we can in our capacity. So I feel that whenever there is an anxiety of unknown, for me, it turns into panic, because then I start overthinking about all possible outcomes. And I feel that this gift of analyzing or like thinking is given to me, and it will help me prepare to mitigate the unknown if I know if I can think of almost all the possible outcomes. That this overthinking is worse than the actual fear of unknown itself.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you.
And I understand that the constant exposure to these teachings can help remove habitual errors.
Yes, yes. And you are doing already that. So no problem. You are listening to everything that you can possibly listen to. So I'm happy with that. And please continue. The thing is that the analytical mind is both a blessing and a curse. It's a blessing because it helps you to appreciate these teachings and take them in. It's a curse because it becomes a noose around the same neck that wants to be free of that noose. So the next time you get into that wanting to control, just say, tell yourself, invite that fear. Invite that fear, have a cup of chai with it. That is the first suggestion. And the second thing you can do is to use the time that is for analysis and convert it into japa. Just watching the mind and saying, I am worried about this, and then attach Om Namah Shivaya at the end of that. I'm worried about this. I'm really obsessing about this. Om Namah Shivaya. I let it go. And of course, you haven't let it go. It comes back. And then I'm still worried about this. This is not going. Om Namah Shivaya. I'm letting it go. Like this, you do as many times as it takes. As many times as it takes. And convert it into Ishvara. See the mind and all its machinations as a manifestation of Ishvara, and surrender the mind to Ishvara and say, Oh Ishvara, oh Lord, oh Goddess, this mad mind of mine, you only have given, take care of it.
So my question is, what kind of daily sadhana one needs to do to be in this path?
Shravanam, Shravanam, Shravanam. Yeah. Keep listening to the teachings, because one time obviously is not enough. We have to keep doing that, because the habitual patterns are so thick that they take us away, as it were, from where we need to be. You can do some japa and Shravanam. Shravanam itself is a sadhana. Listening to the teachings is a sadhana. People forget that. People think of sadhana as yoga, meditation, standing on one leg, and other kinds of tapas. Tapas does not mean Spanish snacks, okay? Yeah. Just to clarify, we are all on the same page. It's only been 2 hours after brunch. Okay. So, so Shravanam, so tapas here, sadhana is a means, different disciplined means. So listening to the teachings is itself a sadhana. Because when you listen, when you're here for 2 hours in the afternoon, 1 hour in the morning, 1 hour in the evening, then that means you have done 4 hours of meditation without even knowing you have done 4 hours of meditation. If you listen closely, a lot is happening. There is determination, there is focus, there is the letting go of raga and dvesha, all these things. It's just amazing.
Hello. I've been described as being a fixer, someone who fixes a situation. I've done it for my family, for friends. Something's wrong, they call me. I appreciate that. I like being capable of that, but it's a burden. It's hard. I can't always be good at it. Do you have advice for that? It's a sense of control, probably an extension of the question that was asked earlier.
Yes, yes, yes. That's, I commend you for even discussing this. It is so difficult to even talk about this. And you must be very good. You must be marvelous at fixing things. And at the same time, I'm very happy to hear you say that it is a burden, because it really is, because it's taking on a lot of people's expectations. And so, yes, true. I give you the permission to drop it. And I give you the permission to say, to your relatives, friends, family, whoever it is. Right now, I don't think I can do this. Right now, I do not have the answers. And right now, I don't know what is the best course of action. You can say that. You can say, you can start by saying, I can take a look at it, but I do not think I will solve it. I'm not able to solve it. And if you are in Ishvara mode, you can say, I am just you can tell yourself, I'm just an instrument and I'm just doing this because I have the skill and the gift, but it is you who is really doing this. Have that awareness and then it will become less burdensome. I'll tell you a story that was told to me by an Indian lady. So there was some kind of a celebration at her temple. This is in Washington, D.C. There was some kind of a celebration at her temple. And she was an elderly lady with 2 grandchildren. And she used to sit with the grandchildren and tell them the story of Lord Krishna, Bhagavad Gita. And then she was saying, you are not doing it. Krishna is doing it. And if Krishna is doing it, you don't get tired, you don't get worried, etc. She was teaching them all that. So once she had to make some kind of a fried bread called puris. She had to make 300 of them for some function at some big celebration at the local temple. So she made that, everything went well. Everybody appreciated it. All that was gone. The next day, a friend phoned her and then she said, oh, my arms are hurting. My head is hurting. Everything is hurting. Do you know? You don't know this because you are out of town. But I made 300 puris. I fried. I kneaded them. I kneaded so much dough. And then I flattened all of them out. And then I fried each one of them. 300 of them. OMG, I'm so tired and so much in pain. The 3-year-old grandson said, Grandma, if Krishna is making the puris, why are you in pain? She said, here there is no room to not walk the talk. I have to walk the talk. That's why I said yesterday, if there are children, grandchildren, they quicken the moksha. Yeah, in a way, they do that. Yes.
Swamini ji, this is about smiling. Okay, it's very hard. So I just sent a message to a friend of mine who's sitting at the beach, obviously not in the workshop. And I said, keep smiling. So of course she's smiling. Then she sends a message, I just lost my optic glasses in the water. She goes, I'm smiling. So even at a time when you've lost something, maybe you're sad, you put the smile on, even if it's the hardest thing to do.
Yes.
Is that like it might not be a real smile, but you're forcing it.
Yes.
Is that?
Well, that is something. There are two. I'm glad you asked this question because there are 2 facets to this. My teacher always used to say, fake it and make it. Fake it till you make it. Meaning, you don't feel like smiling, but smile because actually that is Ananda. You are already Ananda and you're not really faking it. You think you are faking it. So smile anyway. This is the general rule. But then there are exceptions. If one has come from a family of smiling as a way, as some kind of a habitual pattern of denial. Nothing to see here, nothing wrong, everything okay, everybody is fine, better smile. You too, everybody should keep smiling, otherwise I'll go crazy. If one has been brought up in that kind of a family, then for a little while, it is good to not smile. Yeah. If one has come from that kind of family, school your features into looking like a stone on the side of the road. So don't even laugh at a joke. Just say, that was a good joke. Say like that. Because You have to get out of that habit of compulsive, manufactured, fake ersatz happiness, which is, that's not happiness, it's a denial. It's a denial of the difficulties. It is how perhaps the primary caregivers were afraid of certain situations, and they want to put it under the rug and not discuss it. And so they had this culture of smiling no matter what. So for such persons, I would say, for a while, don't smile. Yeah, good to remember. Then afterwards, you yourself will start smiling again, but it'll be a different smile. It'll be a deeper, more genuine smile. You will be smiling on your own terms because you want to, not because you have to. Does that make sense? Yeah. Very nice question. I'm glad you asked that.
Hello. Okay, there you go. I have a family member, and he has had a lot of problems in his life, medical, job, etc., all in a row. And he's always looking at everyone else around him, and he says, "I have a curse." How would you deal with that?
It's the victimization. Yeah. And these days, there is a lot of, what is that? You can have a gratitude journal. Gratitude journal. Even if the person, even in a life of a person, let us imagine, everything is wrong, there'll at least be one or two things, three things to appreciate. So you tell this family member to appreciate at least 5 things every day. At least 5 things. And so, and it's not enough to appreciate it, fleetingly think of it and forget it. That's why you have to write it down. You write it down and you make this a practice. It is called gratitude journaling, or what else it is called? Attitude of cultivating an attitude of gratitude. Because everybody feels entitled. There is a certain entitlement. I should get this, I should have this, I should be this. Why am I not getting this? Why am I not having this? Why am I not being this? And then if that is, so this is something which is because of ahankara, ego. This is what it is, not knowing that one is really not targeted. So you can't tell the person all this. Maybe they're not ready to hear. They're feeling victimized. And they're afraid that they will not matter anymore. So they make their circumstances matter so that they continue to feel relevant and noticed, all these things. So you can just help them by telling them to journal every day 5 things which they are grateful about. And the other, this is a writing exercise. The other one is a observing exercise. You can say, if they have other family members they live with, you can say for half a day, once a week, 4 hours, it's a no criticism, only appreciation time. Because one day I doubt they'll be able to do. So half a day, 4 hours. Yeah. And every criticism they should convert into an appreciation. Then, because that is the truth of life. One is actually an appreciative, non-demanding, contented person. That is the truth of you. And if you start living that truth, then it becomes more and more obvious. There.
My question is, I always, since I'm young, I always saw the weakness of people and their incapabilities. And I was always a person who tried to get their chances and see opportunities and all this. So I helped people a lot. And I did this not for gratification or something. I just did it because I was capable. I was able to.
I didn't understand that last part. What was the
So
last sentence?
I help people not because I wanted to get something out of it,
Uh-huh,
but just
but just to help people.
just
Okay.
to help
Okay, okay.
people. So helping, and then 20 years later, I met a woman, and she was still in a job I was telling her to do in a company. And then suddenly I got afraid, and I thought, oh my God, what did I do? You know, I never thought about what I did to the people, and what kind of karma is this to me. I mean, did I do the right thing, or was it, what did I do all the time? And sometimes I still think this way, but because I'm I'm a social worker. I take care and find solutions, but I don't want, I don't want to, being over what is their own thing they have to find and to do. So
yes. Yeah, that's a very good realization. That's a very good understanding. Two things I would say is that if it bothers you, you can have a small atonement and say, Ishvara, take care of all of them. And whatever I did, let it not come back to me. Take it away. You can say that. We will all pray for that. So that is one thing. Second thing is, going forward, you can, there is a way of talking about it. You can just, sometimes it's very easy, because when people come for advice, it's not that they don't know, it's just because they feel uncertain. So the best way to start is by saying, what do you think? No, I came to you and I want you to know, what do you think? How do you feel? What would you do? And then only later on, if they're giving some wrong, completely dead-end thoughts, how about this? How would you feel about this? This is how you can gently put the onus of their future back onto them, so that you are not in the business of playing God. Yeah. So that is how to let go of that. Yeah. Because it's not that they don't know, they are uncertain. So given the right atmosphere, they will come out and tell you what it is.
Thank you. Also meaning, we're leaving tomorrow, and I don't want to leave with as a question on my mind. I know you say something about reading the Upanishads, that it was a waste of time, and we need to find somebody to teach us. But I would like to go prepare for those teachings. Do you have any specific recommendation how to read the Upanishads?
Don't read the Upanishads. Listen. Listen to the teachings. And so you want recommendations how to listen?
Well, now how to prepare for the...
Or how to prepare the mind.
Exactly.
You are prepared. You can listen. And the listening can be alongside the preparation. The more you listen, the more the mind gets prepared. That's how it works. In the olden days, the gurus used to say, as soon as the students came into the ashram, the guru used to take them to the cow shed. And it was called cow shed because that's where they shed all their complexes. And they would take care of the cows, take them to pasture, clean them, milk them, give them food, all these things. Sometimes for 33 years. We hear in one Upanishad, 33 years, Indra, the king of heaven, stayed in the Guru's ashram, doing all this kind of work. But we belong in a different time right now. And in a way, everybody has an urgency, and what people do not have is time. That is the difference in the time. And so there is a way possible to keep listening and preparing. Listen and prepare at the same time. And you can do that. Safe travels to you.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. That was your question.
Yes. Oh. I'm just wondering about pursuing this knowledge. So on the one hand, we hear
that people who are on this path have probably some scars, right? But then how, first of all, I just wonder, how do you develop this? I mean, if you're new to the path.
But the fact that you are here means you have the samskaras. Simple.
Yes, but
Yeah.
just something that I wonder about also other people, not just about myself. And also about the horoscope, or like you call it, the horoscope. Some say that it actually indicates that you are supposed to pursue it, to pursue this path in this lifetime. But some say that we're actually supposed to go beyond the horoscope. So just wondering about that.
The horoscope is like a blueprint of what can be. That's all it is. Because liberation from pain and sorrow, called samsara. Samsara means some sorrow or the other. Okay, yeah. So liberation from samsara is a purushartha. Means it is something voluntarily desired and pursued. So it is based on the free will, really. It's not based on some horoscope. It's not a prarabdha. It's not karmic. The karma can indicate that yes, this person has a spiritual bent of mind. But that doesn't mean anything, because the person has the free will to go full time on this path or not go on this path at all. That freedom is there. So, and the horoscope has no way of knowing what kind of choice the person is going to make, because many choices are possible. Similarly, the horoscope, like with every purushartha, it's like this, like whether it is artha, kama, dharma, everything. So you can say that this person is seeing the placement of Jupiter, seeing the placement of all these things, you can say the person has a dharmic bent of mind. But still there could be other things that lead the person. Socialization could lead the person down, dharmic bent of mind, but the baby is born in the family of pickpockets. What will it do? And so to come back, first it has to learn to be a pickpocket and then drop picking pockets, because that punya or that possibility to kick in. So these are all latent possibilities that are talked about. So for knowing that, you can't tell from the horoscope this person is going to get moksha. You can't tell that, because it is based on it's a purushartha. It's not based on prarabdha. So then that is what it is. So it's not something you can control. It's something you can desire, and you use the free will and your decision-making process to commit to it. That's what you do. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayah, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet, Asato Ma Sadgamaya, Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya, Mrityor Ma Amritangamaya, Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
We want to thank Swaminiji very much for this wonderful session. And we'll continue tonight in the evening satsang. We also have here a paper if you haven't written your name and the details. So if you would like to get more information about when Swamiji is teaching, and the rest of the schedule for today, we have the yoga classes at 4, 5:45 dinner, 7 o'clock the Gita Parayana, followed we chant a chapter, followed by a short study, and 8 o'clock the evening satsang. Om Namah Shivaya.